What's cracking? How are you guys today? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What a wonderful day. Glad to see we've got some alert, happy, ready to work people hanging out. It's exciting. I have an incredible guest up today, but I want to talk a little bit about salesmanship, the words we choose, and the mindset behind it. So, as you guys have seen over the days, we've seen so many styles of personality, communicator, and interesting things happen when we're in stressful situations. Would you say? I can say that for me personally, when I'm in an incredibly stressful situation, my behavior doesn't typically match what my normal default behavior would be because you're in extreme stress. So extreme stress creates extreme reactions a lot of times, right? And that's an interesting thing that we need to communicate about or talk about, because when we're talking to people that we don't know, and if we have an anxiety about having communication with people we don't know, then we can really fall into some not desirable communicative styles. And one of those things I'd like to highlight would be when you are talking to a homeowner or you're talking to a real estate agent and you're asked a question you don't know the answer to, or a question you know the answer to, but you're not entirely certain that the answer you're going to give is going to be received the way you want it to be received from the person on the other line. And something happens to us. We lie. And I've seen it. A few times. Just little white lies get told when you're talking, and it's not good. It's not good because an untruth, whatever that is, whatever the word is that you're saying that's not in congruence with reality, has an energy associated with it. And if you're not completely aware of how you are, the energy of the words you're saying, just imagine all the actual words you're saying is being meaningless, but that an energy that you are talking is being communicated to somebody on the other line. It's just like letters together, but an energy is actually what's being communicated. Okay? Think about it in those words, or in that term. If the energy that you're communicating to somebody on the other end of the line isn't true, how do you think that energy is received? It's felt. It's 1000% felt. And all of the work that you're doing, or all the work that you could be doing to build rapport, to solve a problem, to establish credibility, all of the things that you're doing can be completely yanked out from underneath you when the foundation of your speech is based on a lie. And so I want you guys to be cognizant of the mechanical reasons why that happens, right? We, again, are always judging the world around us based on its safety and relative benefits to ourselves. That's just what we do. So when we're out in the world, communicating with people, talking to people, doing things, whatever those things might be, we are sussing out our environments, we are sussing out the people that we come into contact with, and we are judging them based on its safety and if I can get a benefit from this. And if I feel like I can't get a benefit from communicating with you, or you might be an unsafe person, what would the normal thing to do? Would be to deflect or walk away, or not engage, or disregard. That happens, right? That's a real thing that happens when we are communicating and talking to people in the world, or meeting people for the first time, or seeing people for the first time. And so I want you guys to be very aware of this process that happens in the noggin, okay? And stop working from here and start trying to communicate more from your heart. It is not important that you have the answers. When you are asked a question you don't have an answer for, what is the better solution is communicating you don't have the answer and that you will do everything in your power to respond back with an answer when you have it, or that you just don't know. But I would way prefer you be an honest person to the folks that you're talking to on the other end of the line than just spouting off like inconsistencies and lies. Don't do that. Not helpful to you, not helpful to the other person. It's not how you're going to gain relationships. You're not going to grow from that. It's not going to work out in your benefit or favor. So if you find yourself bullshitting when you're running your mouth, stop it. Just see it. It's okay. I've been there. I'm not judging you. I've done it myself. Look, experience is experience. And when I speak from experience, I'm talking to you from having lived and strided different ways of approaching business. When I thought that salesmanship meant just say the thing that you need to say to close the deal. And I can promise you that any gain you get from that, or any forward movement you get from that kind of attitude or that type of heart or that kind of energy, is not going to return itself back to you in a positive way. It does not. So not here to lecture. I'm here to set the record straight, because if you've heard people, or if when you're watching these sales shows, when people are on the phone, if you look at the RJ Bates, for instance, right? I love RJ Bates. If you listen to RJ Bates on the phone, he won Closer Olympics this year. He is consistently honest. He'll always just say the truth. He'll always just say the real thing, the honest thing. And it has never blown up in his face. The guy is an incredible closer, salesman, problem solver, communicator. He won the Closer Olympics by, everybody loves the guy. Why? Because he's telling the truth. And he can do it with such reverence and such technique that he can get the other person on the other side to be persuaded into that truth. So start trying to work from that level. If you are learning from people who are teaching you how to sly and connive and talk shit and not be honest, then check that. Be aware of that. That's all I got to say. Whew. That was weighing heavy on me. It was weighing heavy on me because the facts are the facts, and I'm not going to be a part of anything where I don't feel that we are literally communicating into the world, communicating with people, communicating with agents, communicating with sellers, whoever they may be. But if we're not going to be honest about that stuff, we're not going to be honest in how we speak, then we're wasting our friggin' time. Now, Barbara Shepard said, yeah, we're talking about imposter syndrome, right? Imposter syndrome. So sometimes imposter syndrome is what makes us say the thing that isn't true. Sometimes that's what happens. It is so okay to tell people you're new. It is okay. It is okay to be new and to be learning. It is okay to surround yourself and have proximity to people who have experience and share them as your partners, because look, you might be having a conversation with someone who's looking at you and saying, and they can tell that you're brand new at this. And you're talking in circles using words that don't make any friggin' sense in the way that you're stringing those sentences together. Why not just be honest and say, I'm new. I have very experienced partners though, but this is the kind of property I'm looking for. If you want to continue grilling me to check my experience, that's fine. I'm telling you right now, I'm new, but I have partners and I have people that I work with that are very experienced, that are very well capitalized, and we can do business together. And people will respect it. They will respect your commitment to honesty. Don't let salesmanship turn you into a fraud. They don't go hand in hand. I love you guys, and it's the reason why I'm saying it. Because I'm not trying to have you guys get on the phone and just, yip yap garbage. That's not what it is about. This is all about you being you, in your truth, speaking from your power, speaking from your experience, speaking from your knowledge. And if you're here learning, then it's okay to talk about the things you learn. But if someone asks you a question, what did you have for lunch today? And you're like, I didn't eat lunch, while you're eating a tuna sandwich. Again, it's just like, what's the point? There's no point. There's no point to doing anything that isn't coming from an honest perspective, honest speech, honest word, honest action. You will see that in working in that way, what will find its way to you will be what you actually need in life. If you have to lie to get it, it wasn't never worth it. Today, we have an incredible guest. No, it wasn't about lying, John. It wasn't that someone lies. It's just that when you're hearing people talk and it's just they're saying things that are not true, right? Not because they're like literally just trying to lie, like get one over on somebody. But if, for instance, if someone is saying, "Where did you get my phone number from?" and you got the phone number from the realtors list, you can say, "I got a list of agents, and I'm calling off it." There's no need to create a lie there. There's no need to lie. There's no need to BS anybody. No need. Today, Cyrus Kashef is one of my favorite people. An incredible, incredible leader in our community. He is a licensed attorney, practicing licensed attorney in the state of Minnesota. And for some way, some reason, somehow found wholesale real estate in his feed or in his world or in his life. And real estate was something that he always had eyes to, had been looking at for some time, has interest in it. But being an attorney is not easy, right? It takes years of schooling. It takes hundreds of thousands of dollars in schooling. And it's difficult, very hard to be a lawyer. It's very hard to make money as a lawyer. Once you get your law degree, it's even harder to build a practice. Just like anything else, now you've got the piece of paper to say you can. But who sees the piece of paper? Who's going to hire you? Right? So it's building a business. You got to market, you got to communicate, you got to build trust, you got to do all the things that we're doing is in this game. You got to do in whatever profession you are. And Cyrus has built a thriving legal practice. But on his off days, he wholesales real estate. And it just so happens that in the last few months, he has made his income from wholesale real estate, his monthly income from wholesale real estate, be equivalent to his yearly income in law. Think of that. The amount of money that he can make as a lawyer in an entire year is what he can bring home as a wholesaler. And his primary way of doing business is agent outreach. And so, Cyrus, if you're with us, can we see your beautiful face?
Hey, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, brother?
A little nervous, but excited to have some fun.
You're going to do incredible. You're going to be incredible today. You're such an eloquent person, and I am absolutely excited, and we are all blessed to be able to learn from you today. before we get started, I want everyone to get a little bit of backstory on you. And I did a very Cliff Notes version. I missed all the parts. So can you tell us a little bit about who Cyrus is and how you're here and what we might be able to expect from you today?
Sure. Well, as Jamil, you said, I've been an attorney, licensed in Michigan. I started there since '91. And then I just picked up my Minnesota law license, so I'm licensed in both states. Done primarily estate planning and general counsel work. What all that means is I'm the attorney for a company. After running a business, really for the first time in 2015, we ran a toxicology lab in Texas. That was great for about a couple of years, and then the insurance reimbursements crushed us, and we had to shut down in the end of 19, right before COVID. I spent about 5 years in Texas, going back and forth, and then I came up for good up to Minnesota in September. And earlier in 19, my wife Cynthia, who's my partner, she called me and said, when you come back Friday, because I would come back like on a Friday, she goes, instead of coming back in the evening, can you come back like early morning, because I want you to come to a seminar with me. And so I said, okay. So I flew back, went directly to a hotel, and we sat for a weekend seminar at a different company regarding real estate. And so we learned about primarily fixing and flipping. There was some wholesaling. So we got involved in 19. We did a couple flips. And then I ran into an email. You guys found me on social media. And it was Josiah. And then I decided, okay, this sounds great. And I signed up while I was transitioning and kind of shutting our company down. So I got involved with Astro flipping in 19, and I really didn't do much for about a year. And then I kind of, got restarted and recommitted this year, at the beginning of the year, and started doing more agent outreach and doing all the steps. And then I've been able to, not really from the outreach, but really from the follow-ups, which I'll get into today, been able to secure properties, and we wholesaled one for $38,000, which I split with my partner, Efren, and then he brought it. And then there was another one, I think it was $30,000, and it was the simplest thing that I've ever done. And practicing law, and I'll say an attorney joke shortly, and you'll appreciate it.
I love a good lawyer joke.
But practicing law is hard, and you're capped. You can only charge so much for an estate plan or per hour, and you always feel like you're on the other side of the table from your client, because they're wondering, why did you charge so much, and you're wondering, why didn't you call me sooner so we didn't have these problems. And the real estate, over the past couple of years, it's really dawned on me that how collaborative it is, that I'm not in competition with other attorneys. I mean, other attorneys, I'm in competition to find clients, but not in real estate, because I can kind of fit myself in wherever I can bring value, and I can do that as many times as I want, and which is without having a huge stream of marketing going on or a huge overhead. And that was very attractive. I mean, I'm sitting in my office and looking outside. We have 14 inches of snow in Minnesota. It's slowly melting. And, but this allows me to do things on my part-time. And I'll get into it. I spend a couple hours making calls. I'll spend a couple hours on my texting, following up. And before, I'd get all caught up in the numbers and I got to get 50 or I got to do this. That was just unrealistic for me. And so for anyone who's on here has a 9-to-5 job or is a professional and is wondering, how does this fit in? One, you got to check your ego, because, we get, with all our licenses, we think, we're all that, especially when we kind of talk down to the clients. You don't mean it, but they kind of come to you like you're the expert. Right. Not here. And I have access to experts in not only with you, but also in my local community here, who are tremendous people helping me. So that's really kind of how I got involved, and so we're looking for flips, but if it's not a perfect one, I know what to do, and that's really given us a lot more freedom to bring in cash, to pay down debt, to do all the things that you want to do for your family, for yourself, for your friends, whatever the case may be. And there was a stat someone told me once that people who go through bankruptcy, if they had an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, they want to go bankrupt.
Wow.
And in this program, even if you're just making a couple $1,000s, reaching out on a part-time to people, that changes a lot of things for you. And so I know you hear big numbers from the past speakers, and just so you know, the average assignment fee in Minnesota is not 30,000. It's like 5, 7, it could be 3. I have one that I priced wrong, and I'd be happy someone to take it, and I make $1,000 because I want to make sure the seller's taken care of. So you can do it part-time, and I'll kind of walk you through today of my call. I have a little script that I have on the side that kind of I use visually to kind of cue me on things. And then what I do after the call, where I put the information and how I schedule my follow-up text, which is very, very important, because the goal that I see is, and it's one thing to be calling homeowners saying I want to get a deal, even though it's happened twice to me in the past 2 months. My goal when I'm calling these agents is not to get a deal. If that happens, fantastic. It's to start a relationship, and it could be frosty. It doesn't matter to me. And if they say, sure, text me, then I'll send them my information, and then I have them on my drip campaign that I'll follow up, and then I may call them every now and then, leave a message. So I'm top of mind when something hits. And that's my goal. So I'm not going to be looking for a deal. I may get one, but I know with the contacts we make today, I'm going to get one in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days.
Love that. So there is so much beautiful information in what you said there, Cyrus. I want to extract some key points. First and foremost, guys, the key is not to you're not trying to have a transactional conversation. If you read between the lines here, he's not like, hey, got a deal? Hey, got a deal? Hey, got a deal? That's not what this is about. This is about the initial conversation is the start of a relationship. It's like if you're on an online dating site, okay, such a strange analogy I'm going to use here. I apologize for it, guys. If you're on an online dating site and you are trying to go on a date, and you get to somebody's profile and you read their profile, and they've got all of this copy about who they are, their interests, their zodiac sign, favorite food, favorite holiday, favorite kind of dessert, blah, blah, blah. And they're just really sharing about who they are. And your response is a picture of your abs. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Or the picture of the junk, right? That happens. People do that, right? And that is an extremely terrible, rude way to communicate with someone, right? Think about it. But that's what I think it sounds like on the other end of the line when you're being transactional to somebody. It's the equivalent of just sending them a D-pic. Think about it that way, okay? That's not how we talk to people. That's not real life. Second, did Cyrus say that you have to follow up with people in order for it to bear fruit? The relationship to bear fruit requires second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth touches? Absolutely. These things aren't going to happen on conversation 1. It could happen on conversation 6. It could happen on conversation 8. The key is consistency. The key is follow-up. Did Cyrus also say that he does this for 2 hours a day? Yes. and he works a full-time gig as an attorney, and he does this on the side. So for all of you that are struggling with time because you've got families and you got jobs and it's hard for you to do it, I think today's showcase is going to be extremely valuable to you, because Cyrus is going to break down how this happens on part-time. Cyrus, you know how I like to start these off.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me, brother?
You got it. Let's go.
Father God, we love you so much, Lord. Thank you for today. Thank you for waking us all up, giving us breath, opening our eyes, giving us the mental faculties to be with each other and to learn, to be able to communicate. God, we are just so grateful for that. Lord, we ask that you make your purpose for each of our lives abundantly clear to us, so that the words we speak are your words, the steps we take are your steps, the actions we take, your actions. God, we ask that you guide us to those individuals that'll be a benefit to us, either financially or through a lesson that we need to learn. And we humbly ask that you deflect us from those people that will be harmful or waste our time. For any of us that are present today that are in need of any physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional healing, God, we ask that you provide perfect healing in our lives. And for any of us that require any additional understanding of the concepts that we are about to learn, God, we just ask that you provide perfect clarity. Lord, we ask that you bless Cyrus today in his conversations with your words, that you connect him with individuals that'll be beneficial to him and all of us that are watching. And Lord, it is with humble hearts and in your heavenly name we pray. Amen. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Who's excited? I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I am so stoked. Cyrus, take it away.
Okay, well, as I said, I want to start with a joke. And Jamil, you can tell me if you like it or not. This is an attorney joke. This is the one that I usually start off some talks when I talk to CPAs. There was this gentleman, and he's driving in a pickup truck, and he's driving down. He's in Texas, driving down to the Rio Grande to cross over the border, go to Mexico. And so he stops off, gets some gas, and he goes into the store, and he picks up some cigarettes and some water. And then he sees a pedestal, and there's this big bronze rat about 3 feet high, with its claws up and its mouth open, and it says, "Bronze rat, $5, with the story, 50." And so he looks at it and says, "That's pretty neat." Picks it up and he takes it over to the checkout. And the guy says, "Oh, you want the story?" And he goes, "No, I don't need the story. I'll just pay $5. Thank you very much." So he goes, throws it in next to him in his pickup truck, starts driving down the road towards the bridge. So going down about a mile later, he looks kind of behind him and he sees about 5 big rats chasing after him and going at the same speed as he's going. And he's like, well, I'm in Texas. There's big critters. And he drives another couple miles, looks in the rearview mirror again, and sees about hundreds of big rats, and they're getting close to him. And then he keeps going, and he's coming up on the bridge, and he looks behind him, and he's like, holy smokes. There's about thousands of rats, and some of them are trying to get, jump into the pickup in the flatbed. And so he looks over, and he sees the bronze rat. And as he's going over the bridge, he takes it, and he throws it, and it goes boom, right into the river. All the rats, thousands of rats, dive down through the river and they drown. So he's like, man, that was something else. Turns around, drives back to the store. And he comes walking in, and the owner goes, I knew you'd be back. Do you want the story? He goes, no, I don't want a story. Do you have a bronze attorney about that big? So.
Oh my gosh, that was good, Cyrus. That
a little long-winded, but I appreciate it, even though my partners never liked it when I said it, but that's just
I love it. Thank you for lightening it up. And that was great. Great way to start, bro.
Okay. Well, let's get started. Let me see if I can figure out sharing my screen here. What we're going to do is I'm going to start dialing agents that have loaded up in Minnesota, an area nearby in Eden Prairie. And I have, so when you see the screen pop up on the batch dialer, I have a little script on the side, which we can get to later if it's kind of hard to see, that I just kind of follow touch points. It just helps me visually. And I'm just looking to see who wants to have a conversation. And I'm looking to get the AOK to send them my information in a follow-up. And if anything more comes out of it, it's bonus. It's gravy. What I found is, as I'm dialing over the past several months, I probably connect 6 to 8 an hour, depending on how long the calls go. The better, the longer they'll go, and I'll probably lock in, one or two really good relationships, people who are kind of friendly, you got a good vibe. Everyone else who I talk to, and if they answer and we have a short conversation, I'm still going to be sending them a text. But I just kind of take note of the folks that I have. So I have, say I get 6 people a day that I really like, but I may have, say, 15. If I do that 20 days a month, I got over 50 really good ones and I got 300 other ones. And so it's just that consistency, even if it's a half an hour, 2 hours, just doing it. And, just like working out, after I get done with the session, I always feel better than when I started. So let's get started here. Okay, share screen. I think it's this one. Okay. Can everyone see the batch screen? I can't see you, but let's get started here. And you can see the script right on the right-hand side.
Looking good, Cyrus. We can see your screen and everything else.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Let's roll. And we're just going with 2 lines, and I have like a redial set. That's when you get into batch dialer, they can explain that. But this is what I exclusively use to call agents. And I highly recommend it because it's very easy. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Paul Newman. That'd be interesting. Okay. Come on, Bill. You want to pick up? We'll talk to you. Nancy, Jeffrey.
Hello.
Hey, is Nancy there, please?
Hello.
Nancy?
Hello.
Hello, Nancy. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry.
Is this Nancy?
Yeah, this is Nancy. How can I help?
Hey, Nancy. How you doing? My name is Cyrus, and my wife Cindy and I, we're local investors. We live in Lakeville, and
You don't record?
we rehab homes. Can you hear me, ma'am? Well, the reason, okay, I guess you couldn't hear me. So we will put down for a call back and keep on going. And then that's why I have redial, because if that happens, I put them back in the queue and then it'll dial later today. Or when I go through this again, maybe a month from now. So I never give up on people. Hello, may I speak with Bozidar, please?
How can I help you?
Bozidar, good morning. My name is Cyrus, and my wife Cynthia and I were local investors. We live in the Lakeville area, and we rehab homes in the metro area. And the reason for my call is we are desperately looking for our next rehab project, and wanted to see if you or any of your colleagues, I know just like everyone else, if you got in, if you guys, what was that, sir?
I lost you for a second.
Oh.
Just like everyone else, those are really hard to find these days.
Absolutely. And
we are also investors, and we're having difficult time finding really anything that's worthwhile.
okay, so you're already invested. Great. What type of projects do you guys work on?
No, you're breaking up. I can hear every other word.
Ah, that's not good. I said, what kind of projects do you work on?
Oh, we've been doing this for 30 years, and you name it, we've done it.
Okay, well, we're looking, obviously we look on the MLS for items as well. Anything distressed or obviously, the same stuff that you're looking for. Well, let's do this.
Right.
If it's okay with you, I'll text you my information and kind of what we're looking for, and it'll be coming from a 248 area code, which is my cell number that I brought over from Michigan when I came here 10 years ago. And also, I'll add you to our buyers list. So if we come across any properties that don't make sense for us, would you want me to send it your way to take a look at? Are you there, sir?
I'm sorry again. I can barely hear you.
Okay, well, I'll text you my information, and then we'll just stay in contact that way.
All right.
Okay, I appreciate it. Looking forward to it. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your call.
Yep. Okay. We've got some connection issues, but what I do now is that's successful. And then I always put in, okay, the date I talked to them. Also, investor, text, info, and add to buyers list. Now, going step by step, I come up here and then I just go offline really quick. And then I just jot his name down on my pad of paper. And then I go over to FreedomSoft, is where I track people. And I have all the agents already downloaded that we're calling into the system. So I just type in his name, Bozidar. That's where he is. Always click on here. He's an agent. And again, I put 1215. Also, buyer. And then I'll be texting him today when we get done. And then what I do is for the follow-up, I go up to tasks. And you could do this with whatever system you have. You can even put reminders on your phone to do things to get started out. I add a task, just follow up for me. And let's see, today's the 15th. I will give him a call on the 29th. So in 2 weeks. So that's saved. So what happens is every day I go into my FreedomSoft, it'll give me a list of all the people I need to follow up on. And sometimes I get to them that day, and if I get to them the next day, it's not the end of the world. But that way I can track so I don't miss anyone following up. And then we're done there. So now let's go back. I'm not happy about this connection. Let me try to close as many things as possible.
Cyrus,
Okay.
one of our viewers even mentioned if you turn off your camera, that might help take away some of the connectivity. So
Okay.
we can go back to the AirMeet tab and just hit the little video button. Yeah, right there. Let's just see if that helps a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Because great. Thank you. Thank you, whoever said that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You're doing great,
Again,
Cyrus.
stay in contact. And he has buyers.
Yeah, I think it's just AirMeet and the dialer is probably two strong platforms for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and I kind of live out in the country where we don't have strong Wi-Fi, and I apologize.
You're doing great.
Minnesota just got Wi-Fi.
Well, I guess Angela didn't want to talk, or she got dropped. Okay, we got some connective auto pause. Is that because of the connection issue, I imagine? Okay, let's go.
I think we lost your screen.
Well, I turned off my video.
I think your screen came off. If you can go back.
Hello, is Barbara there? Yes, good morning, Barbara. My name is Cyrus, and my wife Cynthia and I, we're local investors. We live in Lakeville area, and we rehab homes in the metro area. And the reason for my call is we are really looking for our next project, flip project or two, and wanted to see if any of your colleagues have anything, kind of rough, distressed, even cosmetic come into the market, or maybe even be listed. That would make sense for us to take a look at.
Oh, thank you for thinking of me. I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay. How about
Can I
this?
take your name and number though, just in case something comes along?
Sure. What I'll do is I will text you my information, and I'll also email it. And the text will be coming from a 248 area code number, which is my Michigan number that I had before I moved to Minnesota. And so you'll see a text from 248, and my name is Cyrus, Cyrus. And you can just save it, and I'll just send you kind of what we're looking for, the areas, the pricing, and we'll just stay in contact.
Great. Sounds good, Cyrus.
Okay,
Thanks
well,
for the call.
I appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am. You have a good one. Be careful in this fog out. Whoa, all the fog is gone. That's good.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, that is a good call. Because I'll put in my notes. Kind of funny, my notation. Very nice. And just I'm going to put her on the text. And again, I just not Barbara and her last name. And then I will go back to Freedom Self like I showed you and update it and then get her text out later. So that was great. That is a good call.
Hey,
Okay.
Cyrus, Hey, Cyrus, can you go back to the Air Meet tab and then re-share your screen?
Okay. Okay. Is that
Yep,
better?
and then, yeah, so just re-share your screen with the little arrow at the bottom.
Yeah, we couldn't see what you were typing. It's not, you don't have to have the camera on, but we couldn't see your.
Brad.
Yes, Brad. Good morning. My name is Cyrus, and my wife and I were local investors. We live in Lakeville, and the reason for my call is we're desperately looking for our next project, our flip project, and wanted to see if you or any of your colleagues have anything, distressed condition, kind of rough, coming to market soon, or maybe you've already listed and there's not much activity on it. We could take a look at.
Yeah, the only thing I have is the property that's off market, but I have the listing contract signed on, but it's getting it ready for market. 12709 Burwell Drive.
So it's
Tonka.
So 12709. What was that street address, sir?
Burwell, B as in boy, URWELL.
And what city is that?
That is in Minnetonka.
Okay. And you said you're going to be, sounds like you're going to be listing soon?
I don't know. It's a 92-year-old lady. It's taking forever to get stuff done. So it's under contract. I have the listing signed, but I've got a year listing on it. It could be spring at best.
Okay. So it sounds like she's going to want to sell later and move out later, or?
She could sell any time. It's just I don't really know. What are you looking for? Are you looking to refurbish and then flip?
Yes. And I mean, we do kind of some buy and hold, but that obviously wouldn't be make sense here for what it sounds like. But yes,
yeah, This one's priced at $700,000, and it's not big. I just don't know if it's got the upside that you need.
Okay. Well, well, how about this? One, I appreciate you mentioning this. I'll take a look at this, and I can give you a call back or just text you kind of what our thoughts are. If if it's too too skinny, or retail makes more sense for her, which nowadays for a lot of sellers, especially the past year, it does, and I absolutely get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a sweet location. Go ahead and take a look. Go ahead and take a look at the map. If you got questions, let me know.
Okay, what I'll do, Brad, is I will text you my information. It'll be from a 248 area code, my cell number. It's a Michigan number I brought with me 10 years ago. So it'll be 248, and my name is Cyrus, Cyrus, and I'll send you my information, and we'll take a look, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay.
Woo! Well done.
That usually doesn't happen, but we'll take it.
That was so awesome.
So good, Cyrus. Amazing.
We look at Minnetonka is like the premier area here, so 700,000. It's probably okay condition. It's where all the beautiful people live in Minnesota. So great. So that's successful. Let me just go offline really quick. That is Brad Olson with an O, and we're going to text him. This is all I do. I jot them down, and I old school paper, pencil. My trick is making sure I don't lose what I write down. Okay, let's keep going. See, the neat thing about that is that's out of my price range, but I got buyers who I know may be interested in that. So that's pretty cool.
That's so awesome.
No, there's Paul Newman again. Nice. And I always keep track of how many conversations I have. 3 so far.
Hello?
Yeah, may I speak with Cindy, please?
This is she.
Cindy, good morning. My name is Cyrus, and my wife and I were local investors. We live in Lakeville, and we have homes. And the reason for my call is that we are desperately looking, like everyone else, for our next rehab project. And wanted to see if, I know, exactly. Wanted to see if you or any of your colleagues have any, opportunities, kind of rough, even cosmetic, that maybe coming to market, or maybe you've already listed and it's kind of sitting there. That could be an opportunity for us to consider and have you represent us.
I'd love to. Are you looking in my area? Are you looking in I live in Excelsior, so I do a lot in the Minnetonka schools, and then I push out to Chanhassen, Eden Prairie, Edina, and Wayzata. What areas are you looking in?
We like Dakota County. We like your area. We like going west, Savage, like you said, Chanhassen. And so, obviously we'll see what the numbers are and what makes sense, but we do feel comfortable with that. We do not kind of put the brakes on Minneapolis and St. Paul with, all the stuff going on. It's just, I am not conversed enough in working in that area with the permitting and it's just not, I'd be getting myself in trouble. I just know that.
The funny thing is, I do about 2 to 3 flips a year,
Oh,
a year.
Sweet. Okay.
I only buy. My son-in-law is a contractor.
Oh.
And so for the last 8 years, he's been doing all of our flips, remodels, and so forth. But I did one in Shorewood for by the Minnetonka Country Club.
Okay.
I found a great house there, built in the 70s. I got it for $398. I put about $100 into it, and I sold it for $650.
That's how you do it.
It was a great property. The funny thing, and we closed on that. We sold right away, first week on the market, but I closed on that in August, and since then, I haven't found anything. What I ended up doing is kind of just putting a hold on that, and we just bought an investment property on the Grandview Lodge property up in Nisswa.
Oh.
Have you ever been to Grandview Lodge?
Actually, my wife and I and our kids, they're older, we were talking about going up there for a little long weekend winter getaway. And actually
we go up there all the time.
Yeah, because my wife, her uncles, they used to own I guess a vacation property where people would go up there to Nisswa, and I guess in her teenage years she used to go up there and ride horses and help clean up and make beds. So yes, we're familiar with that. Beautiful area.
Yeah, so that's because I couldn't find a flip, and I have clients that buy. They don't remodel them and sell them. They just buy them as rental homes, but they obviously want nice ones. What you're looking for is kind of what I had been looking for in the past. But right now, Grandview Lodge, because we've been renting there. I had 6 grandkids, so we've been going there for 10 years.
Nice.
And every time we rent a nice cabin, it's $1,000 a day. The little bit smaller ones are like $600 a day. And I just told my husband we need to buy one. But what I've discovered is they're hard to get. You just have to know somebody. Like this one never went on the market, right?
Yeah.
I just talked to some agents up there. But the interesting thing that I like about it is we ended up getting it, and we're starting the remodel right after Christmas. But we're only doing about a 30-day remodel. So,
Okay.
but it's in the Grandview Lodge program. So our cabin rents for about $645 a day.
Nice.
And we have to honor the 37 rental dates that are already booked for 2022. But then we can block off whatever we want for our family. But the good news is because it's in the rental program, we have, all the tax write-offs. So it's not, just a second home for my husband and I to take our grandkids, right? It's an investment as well.
So it's like short-term rental.
Yeah, Grandview Lodge manages it, so we're in the Grandview Lodge management program. All those cabins, I'm going to say about 120, and Grandview Lodge is booked over the summer for sure. I mean, even now on our cabin, we have bookings. Christmas, we have a booking. New Year's, we have a booking in February, but normally the bookings are March, starting with spring break, all the way to MEA, the end of October.
Okay.
But the thing that we like about it is they manage it. So when the people leave, the people go to the lodge, the main desk, they get the key to it. They have cleaning service, they have maintenance guys, so they take care of all that for us. So we kind of like that. Would I like to buy another one? Yes, but there's just you just have to watch for it. But that's kind of an exciting thing that we're doing. So the good news for that is I'm not buying any flips out here right now.
Yeah, it's I mean, especially it's a great investment, especially with them to manage it and in the demand that's already there. It's just built in. It's perfect.
Yeah, and the one of the flips we bought it went on the market at 1 o'clock on December 26th, and through MLS it comes right to me. I have a couple of different areas programs, so anything in Minnetonka schools under a certain price range comes to me. It came to me within 5 minutes of it hitting MLS last December 26th, and I just wrote a full price offer on it, but wanted an answer in like an hour, and we got it.
Excellent.
So
Well,
sometimes sometimes the timing is pretty important. Just watching for it, especially when you're looking for something in the lower price point that's in a nice area with much more expensive homes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's super true. And with this market, a lot of folks are just putting it on the market. Because maybe 2-3 years ago, if you're dated and you had to make repairs, you'd have to kind of get it up to snuff for the end buyer and for the lender. But now, you're not getting 10 offers, but you still are getting multiple offers, and it's still a seller's market.
Yeah, it really is, and in some areas, it's just crazy what we're getting for some of these homes. I had one too right down the street from me. It's Minnetonka School, not that far from Excelsior, but it's actually Chanhassen in Minnetonka School. But I put it on the market for $650, and I debated buying it because it was so dated, and but it would be an easy fix. But before I knew it, I had 6 offers, $60,000. I think the people that got it were $60,000 or $65,000 over asking.
Yep. Yeah, that's
So it's these ones that come on after Christmas that you have to watch for and grab when most people are looking.
especially grabbing them now with the snow, and kind of you got a couple months to fix them up before the spring season hits, in March. Then you can get rocking and rolling.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for ourselves.
So off the top of my head, I don't have one right now.
Okay.
The ones I have coming up are kind of nice homes. Some are by the lake, and they're in that 800-900 range, but they're pretty nice.
Yeah, it's more retail. Yeah.
I work with my daughter, but it's crazy. All of a sudden, we get a call, here and there, and we're looking at homes that we're like, we need to buy this one. I think that besides these last 2 flips, the 2 before it, I went on a listing appointment. one of them, you know, my accountant told this couple to call me, and so I went over there, and as soon as I walked in, I made them an offer. And I just knew I had to get it because it'd be a great flip.
Well, I like.
But no, I mean, I have your number, so obviously if I hear of something or come upon something, I'll call you right away. But we have to be able to go see it right away.
Yeah. Well, Cindy, let me do this. This number is just an outbound number. I will text you from my cell number, which is a 248 area code. It's a Michigan number that I brought over with me 10 years ago, and I came with a U-Haul myself and my cell phone number, and so you'll see a 248 number. It'll be Cyrus, and I'll have all my information, emails, kind of what we're looking at, the areas, you know, like our price, a little buy box, and also I will email that information to you as well, and I'll just stay in contact. You know, every couple of weeks, I'll, you know, drop you a line, and let's, like you said, it's timing, and let's, you know, we'll find something sooner or later. But that's great that I got in contact with you, because I know folks down in you know, south of the river. It's where I live, but it's nice to have someone who you know, is active, is aggressive, and is an investor, so really has a sharp eye on kind of what works and what won't work up in the, you know, up in your area. So thank you for taking my call. This is great.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sorry, do you have my email address?
Is it? Why don't you give it to me?
It's Cindy, CINDY @results.net. Cindy @results.net.
Got you. And let me ask you one last question. You said it was your son or your son-in-law who's a contractor?
My son-in-law is a contractor. He has a company, Ocean Home Remodeling.
Okay.
And so, gosh, I'd say our last 12 or 14 remodels he did.
Okay.
And we're talking, some of them gutted the whole house.
Okay. Would it be someone, if we need someone to try to maybe contact, because we're always looking for good contractors, and obviously I know he does great work because he does your work, right?
Yeah. I mean, once I get your email, once you email me, I'll send you a couple of the homes he's done.
Excellent.
Pretty cool what he's done. But yeah, he lives in Chanhassen, and he works all the time. He's got, right now, he went up to Grandview Lodge to take all the measurements of the cabin and so forth, and right away he got his custom cabinet guy Jason, who I use for all my, you know, kitchens and center islands and all my built-ins. He's got him already making everything. So
wow, I love it. That's very exciting, and hey, thank you for taking my call, and looking forward to it. I'll send you my information.
that sounds great.
You got it. Cindy, you have a great day. Take care.
That's good. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Okay, it's getting better. Now that was a very, very good call, because
Woo!
they're an investor. They work in a very exclusive area, and may get another contractor out of it. So that is very cool. So okay, 12:15. That's just fine. You got contractor. Okay, let's keep going.